Rosie B, Plants for Bees.
From our research, we see very clearly that different types of bee are interested in different types of flower, and I'd like to talk you through that. So the big categories would be the wild bees and the honeybees, and I split them like that because honeybees are essentially a farmed bee. Like we keep cows and sheep in fields, well, we keep honeybees in hives. That's a man-made construction. And they are farmed and looked after by humans. Wild bees, on the other hand, still are out there completely independent of human beings, completely dependent on natural habitats to make their nests and to survive. So, if anything, it's really the wild bees that need our care and attention, because there has been a 97% loss of habitat in this country. That's why your gardens are such an incredibly important resource for them. But wild bees, there are several species that are on the border of going extinct, purely through loss of habitat. So, I'll talk to you a little bit about those. The bumblebees typically have bigger bodies, they're fluffier, they can forage in shade or sun because they're fluffy enough to keep their bodies warm, but they have also got longer tongues, which means they can actually get their tongues for nectar into deeper, longer flower tubes. Some of the best plants for bumblebees: Echium. I'm going to show you this plant. Echium vulgare. Looks like nothing. And in fact, yes, if you look at it close up, you'll see it's the kind of thing that if you saw it in your garden and you didn't know what it was, you might easily think that it's a thistle and a weed, and you'd pretty well get it out quick. So there's a really good reason why garden centres don't grow this, and it's because it looks fairly unpleasant as a rosette of leaves, plus it's a biennial. So by the time it actually starts flowering, its value is nearly over from a garden centre perspective. But this is an amazing plant, attracts lots of particularly small carder bumblebees, but also some solitary bees, some honeybees, some other bumblebees as well. Biennial produces a big rosette of not very impressive leaves the first year, but the second year it produces spires of blue flowers about so high, waist high. And each one of these plants will produce 3 or 4 spires, and they're so dramatic and will last for about 3 months. Other plants for bumblebees, are, let me introduce you to hyssop. You might know this. It's a compact shrubby herb, and I grow it in the way that you might do a lavender, in that it's very good for just producing a nice tidy mounded shrub at the edge of your borders or alongside paths. But unlike lavender, you can cut it back hard so that you can keep it going year after year after year, and it doesn't get all woody in the centre. And this will flower for about 10 weeks. Nice tidy little blue spires all over it. Great little plant. If I'm going to mention a couple, particularly for solitary bees, then the top one we find for solitary bees is this. This is Anthemus tinctoria, and I know it looks kind of small at the moment, but by midsummer this will be 4-5 feet, a mass of yellow open daisies. It's fantastic. And last year, when we got some that had really got mature, we had 4 different species of solitary bees at any one time. So it's really wonderful, and they were just buzzing over the top of it, very gently, like a little haze of bees. Beautiful. And let me see what else. I'll have to go all the way down the other end then. Here we go. Rudbeckia, also very good for solitary bees. I tend to find that this one attacks attracts very tiny solitary bees, the Lasioglossum type. These are actually very small bees. They're about 3 millimeters long, maybe 4 millimeters long, tiny little things. It also attracts bumblebees and honeybees as well. So a good versatile plant. Another yellow daisy, but I don't think that's significant. And finally, if we come on to honeybees, some of the best plants for honeybees are Oreganum. Yep, Oreganum, same colour on Oreganum that you would cook with. There's several different types of it. The one that we find seems to flower for the longest and attract the most bees is a white flowering one called Oreganum onotes, which I think has its origins in Greece, but a really good, reliable. But if you're looking for all-round plants, then Helenium. All Heleniums seem to be very good for bees, but the Helenium autumnale, which is a near species version, is the best one out of the best. And it's a good all-rounder because it attracts honeybees, solitary bees, and the Sahins early flowerer, which is one that's very commonly sold in garden centres, is good for bumblebees as well. So that's a good all-rounder, as is Calamint. Have I got a tray that's separate? There we go. Calamint, it's another herb, but not a very well-known one. And if you rub the wheels and smell it, it's halfway between an oregano and a mint in its smell. And it's a member of the mint family, but it's not invasive like mint. It doesn't send runners up all through your borders. It's very compact and tidy. And this will produce tiny little lavender flowers on spires from about end of July onwards, and actually will keep flowering and almost until the frosts. And it's a fuzz like almost a bridal veil of tiny little white lavender flowers. Beautiful, really good. Honeybees and bumblebees. So that gives you some idea of different plants attracting different bees. We grow 70 different varieties here. Some of them have unique jobs and some of them are generalists, attracting multiple different types of bees. But all the information about that and our research is all on our website. So please have a look at rosiebee.com, and you can always send us an email if you've got questions. Thank you very much.